Hey YouTubers, Schel Sullivan here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to attempt to answer one of the most deeply philosophical questions that has ever troubled mankind. Philosophers, deep thinkers throughout all of history have troubled over this conundrum. What question, might you ask? Will it firecracker? Hard-boiled egg edition. Let's get started. Okay, let's get cracking. I'm going to use my glue gun. I've got some of my homemade black powder. I've got a hacksaw blade. I've got a drill with a 1/2-inch bit. I've got a 1/2-inch wooden dowel. I've got my fuse. And I've got my egg. And I'm conveniently using this spray paint lid to hold my egg. Okay, I need to open up one of these eggshell ends here without cracking the thing to pieces. So let's see. Let me try the hacksaw blade, see how that works. I feel like the food surgeon. I want a 1/2-inch hole. I don't want to crack the whole egg down though, just the top. That's what I'm going to do. Let's try the drill. Actually, these have really sharp edges here. I'm afraid that's going to grab and peel the egg shell, so I'm going to actually run the bit backwards in a second here. There. So I've gently cracked open the top of that without breaking the eggshell all the way down. So now we'll switch over to drill. Fuse it. Alright, so I've got my fuse in there. I drilled 1 3/4 inches down, 1/2-inch diameter. I filled it to about 1/2 inch up from the top. So that means about, well, now you can calculate the volume of powder there. And what we're going to do, we're going to seal the top of this off with some hot glue. Okay. Here's our egg cracker. Egg cracker. Egg cracker. I cracked myself up. Okay. So this is hot glue's got to cure and dry thoroughly, and then we'll see if it will firecracker. Okay, I've propped my egg up on a little pile of sand here to keep it vertical, and now we're going to find out together, because I've never tried this before. Hard-boiled egg. Will it firecracker? Oh! Alright, where did it fail? I see it just push the hot glue cap right out of the egg. I'll not give up though. The black powder, apparently not fast enough. If you're curious, this is the 75-15-10 mixture. 75% potassium nitrate, 15% I'm using white pine charcoal that I made, and 10% sulfur. But out with that, in with the gun cotton. And I will start with like a 0.4, 0.5 grams worth. And we'll see how it works. Let's see here. I've pre-drilled me some eggs so you wouldn't have to experience that again. We'll use something pointy to pack some of this gun cotton down inside of the egg. I guess that's about a 1/4 of a gram in there so far. I don't think I'm going to be able to fit all of it in there, or maybe I shouldn't even try. Let's see what we get here. If this doesn't work, we're going to use some something a bit quicker. Something just a tad bit quicker. As with before, we're going to seal off the top cavity with hot glue, but this time I'm going to be a little excessive with it, since that was our point of failure before. There we go. That plug should not be able to fall out. It's a bunch of glue. Okay, so we failed with the black powder, but now I'm going to use some of my very extremely fast burning gun cotton. That stuff, about that much is packed in here, maybe just a little more. And let's find out what happens. Willet Firecracker, hard-boiled egg edition, propellant, nitrocellulose. Woo! Alright, baby. Don't worry. This egg is going to kaboom one way or another. So my black powder, not quite powerful enough. In case you were wondering, this was the 75 15 10, so 75% potassium nitrate, 15% charcoal, white pine charcoal that I made, 10% sulfur, black powder. Nah, did okay, but didn't really create the cracking egg firecracker that I wanted. Gun cotton was a resounding failure. I think it was because it's just so susceptible to the moisture that's in the gun cotton. In future, maybe I'll try like maybe a saran wrap around the gun cotton or black powder, not enough to create the compression for a cracker, because we want to make firecrackers out of objects, not stick firecrackers into objects. So maybe we'll try some type of moisture sealant in future projects. But in order to get this egg to truly crack into a firecracker, I'm going to have to break out the big guns. Okay, so folks, this is where the warning comes in. I'm going to be mixing a very strong pyrotechnic. I'm not going to go into the ingredients right now, but suffice it to say that do not try this at home. Dealing with pyrotechnics requires expert knowledge, but this pyrotechnic is quite a bit stronger than anything I've shown before. Okay. This stuff is extremely fine powder, so we don't want to eject any into the air as we're opening the package. Well, did my scale get? I did. My scale got wonky. Maybe re-zero it. 0. Okay, I'm after 5 grams of this dark gray powder. I need 3 grams of this white powder. And I need 2 grams of the mysterious yellow powder. This mixture cannot be ball milled, it can't be ground, it can't even be stirred with a metal spoon. You can't put it into a mortar and pestle. So these 3 ingredients create a pyrotechnic way more powerful than the gun cotton and the gunpowder that I've been making. So we're going to mix these together using something called the Diaper Method. So basically I'm going to gently fold these ingredients together. Very gently. Some of my white powder and yellow powder has formed clumps in there. We're just gently smoothing those out. Just kind of gently folding it back upon itself. Alright, this is a 10-gram mix of this much more powerful pyrotechnic. This is definitely much more volatile, much more powerful than the gunpowder and gun cotton that I've been making. Alright, so this is just an egg, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do though. I'm going to dry out the inside of it with my torch, so that the moisture on the inside of the egg, this egg was just boiled like an hour ago. So I'm going to dry out any moisture so that it won't soak up into my pyrotechnic propellant. Okay, so it's still egg inside there. It's just, you know, there's no container, there's no hidden firecracker in there. It's just an egg hollowed out. That's probably 3 grams. I don't know if all 3 will fit in there. Okay. So I think I probably got 2.5 grams in there. That should be very explosive. Take my remaining powder here outside. I'm going to make some crackers with it later. Alright, so let's see. I didn't pack that. That's a very loose powder, but I want that fuse to get down to the center. I've tested this stuff around my hot glue gun. So the hot glue gun is not hot enough to set off, but still, you gotta be very, very careful when you do this. And that means face shield. So I'm building up a glob. This is going to be the cap of the egg. So I'm spinning this to keep this glob basically centered on my fuse. Okay, while it's still damp, I'm going to drop it in my hole here. Kind of swizzle it around and spread that hot glue. Fill up the cavity. I'm going to let this dry a little bit, and then I'm going to cover this up and grab the edge of the shell on top, because previously I've just been kind of blowing plugs out. Okay, our hot glue fuse plug is placed and cured. You see it's kind of drawled up in there a little bit. So now I'm going to cover this over till about right here so that the plug just won't blow out. I need to create enough pressure, hold enough pressure for at least the amount of time before all that powder goes. And like I said previously, I was just kind of blowing the plugs out. So what I'm going to do now is use a very generous amount of hot glue to make a lid for this thing. That's what I'm talking about. Well, I don't need these little squirrely parts here. Let me wipe that down a little bit. All right. Just a bit more cure time and we'll find out definitively and once and for all. Hard-boiled egg. Will it firecracker? Alright guys, safety first. Will it firecracker? Special secret pyrotechnic edition. Because we're going to blow it up one way or the other. Hey! Hey! That was pretty cool. Well, with the bright flash you just saw, I probably gave away the pyrotechnic I was using. And it didn't annihilate the egg. It just didn't, the egg just don't hold enough pressure to really, really super firecracker. But I call that a success. Hard-boiled egg, will it firecracker? Yeah, I think it will. Here's our aftermath. And here's the top. You see my my plug held. That's good. It smells delicious. Breakfast, anyone? I hope you enjoyed that, but let me reiterate. The Will It Firecracker series is for professionals only. Do not attempt this type of project at home. Please click like if you like the video. If you think a friend might like to check it out, then you can please share it out on the different social media applications. If you have comments or suggestions like what should I Will It Firecracker next, let go in the comment section below. And subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Will It Firecracker videos coming in the future. And if you think I earned it.